Welcome back to Inside Tennessee. I'm your moderator, Michael Crow, and today we are talking Knox County Commission. Gentlemen, let's lead off by talking about what separates you two, because we only have a couple minutes here. We'll start with you.
I think what separates me from my opponent is my broad base of experience in the county. I've lived or worked in pretty much all corners of Knox County in some capacity and had an experience to understand really the three different types of communities that we have in one big community. We have a very rural population, we have a very urban population, and a suburban population. I've also had the experience of working in the for-profit sector and the nonprofit sector, so I have the understanding of what it takes to both run a business, manage a team, but also how to live within your means, be affordable and effective, and run an organization that is truly focused on our mission. And I really think that all those things translate to being a county commissioner at large, where I have the opportunity think about the big picture, think about all the communities, and then think about running government in an affordable and effective way.
And you, Mr. Rochelle?
I was a small business owner for 18 years in Knox County. I know the trials and tribulations of a small business owner and what they experience, as well as paying the taxes in Knox County. I've been a volunteer for Knox County, various boards, the chamber, the parks. I was chairman of the Knox County Parks and Recreation. I'm president of the Board of Zoning and Appeals. So I know the entire county. I know that District 8, for example, is as large as Anderson County by itself, huge district. And I'm more conservative. I guess you could call me deplorable if you like.
Well, I hope not.
But I am a deficit hawk, and I guess you could call me Rand Paul if you want to in that regard. So I think I know Knox County. I've been here since 1986, and I'm UT graduate.
Fair enough. Before we go to the panel really quick, one question I wanted to ask where we left the last block. Are either of you endorsing a current candidate for county mayor?
No, I sticking to my race, sticking to the issues that are near and dear to me and focusing on it. I'm looking forward to working with whoever's our mayor, whoever's our sheriff, whoever's fellow county commissioners, and really all the elected officials to really build a brighter future here.
Mm-hmm. And you?
Not for mayor.
Not for mayor. All right.
All right, I wanted to ask you, back to your website, you talk about no sanctuary cities.
Yes.
And in yours, part of yours is passion. You use the word passionate and helpful. Where do you stand on sanctuary cities? And I mean, I know where you stand on. You're a big no. What about you? You want to be helpful and passionate. I understand you have a good heart for service. So what about that?
Well, I think that from a legislative standpoint, that's been decided on a federal and a state,
right.
And these are not things that the county commission are really ever going to make decisions on. But what I really want is a community that follows the rule of law first and really celebrates people that have immigrated to our community in a legal way. And I've been to several of the immigration and naturalization services, and I really would like to see more people there saying, congratulations, welcome to Knox County, and let's really invite people that have done it legally, and to really build an environment that is welcoming, but with the rule of law.
All right.
What does this job pay?
The county commission pays about $22,000 a year, and there's some travel allowance. And I would venture to say, if you take all the time and mileage that you put into being a part-time leadership position with a full-time responsibility, it's very, very little when it comes down to the per-hour cost. But it's enough to compensate people, which I believe in. You ought to be compensated for your time, but it's not egregious, and it really is treated as a part-time Knox County position, and you're essentially treated as a Knox County part-time employee.
We've talked a lot about Knox County's financial situation. What is the next biggest issue the county faces that you both would like to address?
Well, in that regard, they have to be the roads, which we're on a 75-year road plan. It's whack a road, if you like. As I mentioned earlier, the city is paving 48 miles, the county's paving 20. The city is 20% smaller than Knox County. So our roads will be in terrible shape if they're not already. 2,200 miles and paving 20 miles. I mean, it doesn't take much to figure out that that's going to be a big issue for job creation in this county.
And for you?
I actually think a much bigger issue that we really need to tackle and face is the investment in the infrastructure and the emphasis on emotional health, mental health, and recovery services. And I think addiction recovery and emotional and mental health are something that affects everything. It affects jobs, it affects education, it affects crime, it affects our economy, it affects our workforce. And if we don't tackle that, if we don't make some real strides in emotional health, mental health, and addiction recovery in the coming future, then the rest of the good work that we're going to do is not going to have the foundation to stand on.
Absolutely. Both of you, we only have a couple of seconds here. Any final thoughts? And things you'd like to say? Just a couple seconds.
Change is inevitable, often necessary, and generally for the good. I am the change candidate. Business as usual is not what Knox County needs for the future.
I think Knox County is at a point where it needs a new, fresh perspective. It needs an opportunity for people that have experience in all walks of life to come to the table, to think about the big picture future, to really talk about the next level of Knox County, and to take some risks, take some opportunities, and really, you know, harness them. So I feel like I'm the candidate of choice based upon my experience in the community, based upon my servant leadership, and really based upon my vision and passion to get in there and to really be helpful to everybody on a bigger scale.
Great. Well, thank you both. Larsen J. and Ronnie Rochelle, thank you for joining us here on Inside Tennessee. When we come back after a short break, we are going to talk school board. We'll be right back.